Part 32. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 311. Instantly, the total score of the Imperial Capital Province exceeded 100,000, leaving the second-place Yanyuan Province by half. Audiences across the country were amazed and unbelievable. This was the strongest weapon of the Federation. A provincial ace was as small as an ant in front of it. As for Sulan Province, it was directly left out of the top 10. There was no way. The ace of Sulan Province was all in the Eastern Division. And they were just entangled by others, and the members of the other provinces were even more desperate to encircle and suppress them. As a result, the three members of the Three Saints team had almost no points. Boss, some of us went out to see only half an hour after the start of the game. The score of the Imperial Capital Division ranked among the top, leaving the second place by half. That's right, as soon as the goddess made a move, the Western Division has completely fallen into the rule of our Imperial Capital. Sulan Province fell out of the top 10. As long as we can defend the Eastern Division, we will definitely win. Yan Yan, the son of Thunder, was quite satisfied when he heard the report of his team members. Okay, I understand. Then from now on, you don't have to hunt monsters or any players. Make sure you don't have any extra points, and go all out to interfere with Bai Zi and other members. If you can kill them, that would be great. Yan Yan thought for a moment and then passed on the message. But you don't have to worry, as long as Bai Zi dies, the Imperial Capital will win the championship. Then you who have contributed to the Imperial Capital will be rewarded even if you miss the third stage of the competition. Don't worry, Captain, we will definitely go all out. After that, the call connection was disconnected here. This time, in order to defeat Bai Zi, the Imperial Capital Division has invested a lot of money. However, ordinary Imperial Capital players also understand. With their little skills, they will never enter the third stage of the competition. Even if they are lucky enough to enter, it is difficult to get a high ranking. After all, those who can enter the third stage of the competition are basically the top players in the country. Rather than being killed by them in an instant, it is better to seize the opportunity in front of you. If you can pull Bai Zi down, you can also get the reward promised by the Imperial Capital. At this time, return to Bai Zi. Facing Qin Xinlian, Bai Zi did not shy away. Dowdy, go play with her. Immediately, Dowdy, who received the order, jumped high. The swords and shields on both sides of its body flew out, helping it to rush to the phoenix below as a cover. Qin Xinlian saw this and had no intention of dodging, and directly ordered his generals to face it head-on. The two beasts of the same realm collided, and in a flash, they had fought back and forth in the air for dozens of rounds. At the lower head, the other two leaders were in charge, and the two sides fought fiercely. But Bai Zi looked relaxed about this. How strong am I as the ace of Dang Yang? If that's the extent, I can send you off now. The system space opened, and three kinds of potions fell. Just now, Dowdy had been testing the opponent, but now he has a certain degree of confidence and can end the battle. Dowdy, just kill her. In the air, Dowdy, who absorbed three kinds of potions, doubled its strength. It possessed the shield form and blocked a fireball from the fire phoenix. Then it possessed the sword form and rushed straight to the opponent with a sharp blade in its mouth. It was very fast, and it rubbed against the air, drawing a red gold arc. The phoenix had no time to dodge and was stabbed by the sword head-on. The red wings fell, and the wailing sounded through the world. Outside the field, witnessing the battle here, some spectators have questioned it. No way, I just wanted to say that the phoenix is awesome. How come it was killed in an instant? I want to say that these trump cards from all the provinces are not all a bunch of fakes, just hyped up. Just now, wasn't Tanzian also killed in an instant by the goddess? At this moment, the phoenix pierced by the sword fell from the sky and fell heavily to the ground. Seeing her dying appearance, Dowdy exhaled violently, and the chaos beam exploded to the ground. The rocks were shaken up 3 stories high, and the phoenix was also submerged in the pile of earth. That's the end. Looking forward, there was only a row of clans left. It's not difficult to break through their encirclement. Hee hee. But at this moment, Qin Xinlian suddenly sneered twice. You look down on me too much. Do you think that a trump card that the whole province can produce will be so easy to defeat? Before Bai Zi spoke, a large number of people in the live broadcast room had noticed it. Under the soil, a series of scorching flames pierced out. The thick and pure fire element turned into a pillar of fire that soared into the sky. The sound of the phoenix resounded through the clouds, and the dying phoenix actually flew up with the glow of the clouds, and there was an extra red line at the tail. Resurrected, the phoenix is resurrected? How could this happen? I thought she was dead, how come she suddenly resurrected? I remembered that there was a rumor that the phoenix was a divine beast that could be reborn and reborn 9 times. And, every time it reborn, its own strength would surge until it reached its peak and was reborn again. The phoenix is immortal, it can be reborn again and again. And every time it reborn, it will be stronger than the last time, Qin Xinlian said with a smile. This is the trump card in her hand, and all her pride. Just like she was once defeated by Tang Qing Cheng, but she was constantly reborn. At this point, she has become stronger and stronger, and is determined to avenge her previous shame. What can't defeat me will make me stronger. Squeak. With a phoenix cry, the resurrected phoenix rushed straight towards Dowdy. Bai Zi frowned, but there was no fear. In this way, he would kill her until she could not be reborn. Dowdy, do it. A boom sounded, and the two collided again. But the difference is that Bai Zi can clearly feel that the phoenix has become stronger. Just now, Dowdy was able to suppress it in just a few dozen rounds, and found its weakness to kill it in one fell swoop. But now, it has been fighting for hundreds of rounds, and it is still determined. At the same time, smoke is rising in other places. The meteorite worm is colliding fiercely with the 2 sons of God and their men, and has not yet broken through the siege. Although the tree man has the advantage, he has caused greater trouble. Asshole, my followers are all dead, why haven't you come yet? Are you deliberately playing me, trying to get me out? Son of Light, Liao Liang kept roaring. He couldn't beat the treemen, and because they were treemen, they lost the only advantage they had in the forest. His Aurora archer was approached, and it was difficult for him to counterattack. You are really useless, you can't even delay. But don't worry, I'm here, aren't I? Above the strange forest, a figure as fast as the wind passed by. It was a group of pterosaurs. To be precise, the full name is Wind God Pterosaur. Behind them, there was an unstable tornado, attacking the forest. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 312. The tornado swept through, and the trees rose directly from the ground. The passing imps were also affected and were swept into the hurricane and cut into pieces. The person who came was the son of the wind god, Yahweh. It's time for the protagonist to appear. Let the creatures on the surface see how powerful the destructive power of the strong wind is. Facing the hurricane, the army of tree people prepared for defense. All the vines, wood, and branches on the surface were manipulated and piled up into a wall hundreds of meters high. At the moment of collision, the wooden wall collapsed, and the originally galloping tornado became unstable and finally scattered and disappeared. But the wind god pterosaurs flying in the air did not stop. They kept diving to the ground and fighting with the tree people in the forest. Under the enemy on 3 sides, time passed by every second. At this time, the contestants from other provinces had almost cleared all the monsters on the first floor. The first entrance to the second floor was finally revealed. The second floor of the Hell planet, the Scissors Hell. Here, countless imps holding scissors were running around. Some people had all 10 fingers cut off and lay on the ground in agony. In the Eastern Division, the first person to enter here was Zhao Qi, the ace of Tianjing province. His creature, the Holy Light Guardian, had no feet and floated in the air, holding the Sword of Light and the Shield of Light. Zhao Qi was very smart, and he did not choose to cause trouble for Bai Zi. After all, everyone was chasing Bai Zi, so no one would compete with him for creatures. Besides, Zhao Qi's creatures were of Holy Light attribute, which was particularly restrained against such little ghosts. And the final facts proved that his idea was very correct. Nowadays, Tianjing province ranks third in the country, only a little behind Yanyuan province, which ranks second. As long as he can break through the second level faster and dive deep into the third level of the Iron Tree Hell, he can surpass Yanyuan province. Look at Zhao Qi's side. The entrance to the second level of the Eastern Division has been found. The Western Division has not found it yet, but the entrances of the two divisions are in different locations, so it may not be that simple. But the imperial capital is ahead by a lot, and I am afraid no one can surpass it for a while. Amidst the heated discussion, the site returned to Dowdy. At this moment, it was already panting and obviously in poor condition. On the ground, Phoenix was cold all over, and once again died at the hands of Dowdy. And this was the 6th time. Dowdy exhausted all his strength and killed Phoenix 6 times, but she was still able to regenerate continuously. Does this thing really have infinite lives? Dowdy questioned. Even though Dowdy had multiple god-level bloodlines and possessed power beyond God, he was exhausted after a long battle. Bai Zi came to his senses and quickly ordered Dowdy. Don't fight, take this opportunity to break through. If we keep wasting time like this, we will suffer. Dowdy nodded immediately after hearing this. Then, he opened his huge mouth and roared. The Sword and Shield clan, who were fighting in the air, heard the roar. They quickly passed by the group of red cranes as if they had received an order. Gaetenja fired purple rays to divide the battlefield, and Kunpeng assisted his clansmen to evacuate. After all, the realm is high. After a long fight, the red cranes were no match for them and had already suffered heavy casualties. Bai Zi's creatures wanted to run, and it would be difficult for them to catch up even if they tried their best. Are you afraid? Because you can't beat me, so you have to run away. Qin Xinlian frowned and began to provoke Bai Zi. Humph, whatever you want to understand. It's just that now, it's not the time to fight you, we'll meet again later. As soon as the voice fell, Dowdy also took a step and quickly followed the large army to evacuate. They broke through Qin Xinlian's encirclement and rushed in another direction. Damn it, it's not that easy to leave, Qin Xinlian scolded. The next second, the fallen fire phoenix was reborn again. There was one more tail behind it, a total of 7 tails, and it spread its wings and flew. With the revival of the phoenix, the army chased the 3 tribes forward. But just when Bai Zi thought he was going to escape, the way forward of the 3 tribes' army was blocked by a series of lightning strikes. This is. Bai Zi raised his head, and the Eye of God reacted instantly. Ding, biological detection is completed. Biological name, Thunder Elf. Biological level, Servant level peak. Biological introduction. Carrying Godhead bonus, immunity. Introduction, immune to all thunder attribute attacks. However, just after the introduction came out, the sky was covered by dark clouds. Then thunders sounded everywhere, and thunders fell one after another, hitting the creatures who had no time to react. Ha ha ha. It seems that I am not late, and I finally found you, Bai Zi. A mocking laugh came from the opposite position. This voice should be the purple-haired one from last time. It seems to be the son of Thunder God, Yan Yan. I said it before. You'd better know better and suffer less. Now, if you meet me, I will destroy all your creatures and make you die in the most cruel way. Yan Yan narrowed his eyes and clenched his fists. Bai Zi couldn't help but cover his forehead when he saw this. How come he always encounters enemies wherever he goes? However, he still relied on the attitude of losing the man but not the situation. He asked back, with these slave creatures of yours, can you block my way? Why don't you take a look at what realm my creatures are in? As soon as these words came out, the creatures hit by the thunderbolt raised their heads. They walked forward towards the thunderbolt, revealing the aura of a general. Wow, there are so many general-level creatures. No, why are the numbers still increasing? These are not so many generals, they are all generals. How dare you ambush me with your servants? In an instant, Yan Yan on the opposite side also widened his eyes. All the creatures in Bai Zi's hands have reached the general realm. Even for him, only some of his creatures have reached the general realm. Even if they are all generals, so what? It's your turn, my dragon god. Boom. There was a loud noise in the sky, and purple lightning flashed, burning the surface. As dark clouds descended, the creatures surrounded by purple lightning slowly flew out of the clouds. It was a giant dragon with lightning all over its body and purple dragon scales. Its breath was filled with static electricity from time to time. Ding, system detection completed. Name of creature, Purple Thunder Dragon. Creature level, High Level Commander. Creature introduction, Sacred Bloodline, Power of the Dragon God. The Dragon God representing thunder and lightning, is the embodiment of thunder in the world. While watching the introduction of the creature, the live broadcast room also fell into cheers. Yan Yan is serious, that is the Dragon God representing thunder and lightning, the Purple Thunder Dragon. The first trump creature of the 6 sons of the Emperor has appeared, and it turned out to be the Dragon God. As expected of the son of the Thunder God, the creatures under his command are all symbols of the Thunder God. Amid the excitement, Bai Zi also made preparations to welcome this sudden Dragon God. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 313. Roar. The purple thunder dragon roared, and the golden horn on its head flashed. With a boom, purple lightning burst out. The Dowdy opened its bloody mouth, and a black hole took the blow. At this moment, the effect of the potion on the locked creature had disappeared. The Dowdy, who had just fought for a long time, was also a little exhausted. My lord, we have broken through the double team. Is it the news from Hyperjeton? My lord, fortunately, we have fulfilled our mission. The opponent's creatures were defeated and left behind by us. Good news also came from Aurora. The trump creatures of the 4 gods did not appear, so they naturally could not stop Bai Zi. After thinking for a while, Bai Zi said, okay, you just keep running, and find the entrance to the 2nd floor by the way. Understood, the 2 leaders said in unison. Behind them, the creatures of the several gods were left far behind. Bai Zi came back to his senses, and now it seems that only the 3 tribes are left, and they have not broken through the encirclement. As long as he can get rid of the trouble and find the entrance to the 2nd floor, his passive situation can be solved. However, the current situation here is more troublesome than both sides. The other 4 did not use trump card creatures to encircle their sons of gods. But this Yan Yan has spared no expense and even summoned the Dragon God. Not to mention that Qin Xinlian is chasing behind him, and there are 2 high-level creatures of the commander level, both of which are trump cards in his hands. In a head-on collision, it is difficult for Bai Zi to gain an advantage. Rumble. The competition in the sky has begun. In the dark clouds, Doughty and Xixiao Thunder Dragon are entangled. The two huge bodies, both with god-level blood, are inseparable. Thunder rumbled in the lower part, and lightning pillars rolled down from the dark clouds. The shield tiger defended while leading the sword tiger forward, and the agile Dapen bypassed the lightning pillar and hit the lightning elf in front. The remaining Gatenja was responsible for side assistance, allowing them to approach the opponent's wizard faster. The three tribes cooperated well and could still fight under the bombardment of the opponent's strong firepower. But unfortunately, not long after the two sides started fighting, there was a noise behind them. A blazing fire appeared, and the sound of the phoenix resounded for thousands of miles. All the creators around saw that at the foot of the hill, lightning flashed on one side and fire raged on the other side. And the one caught in the middle was the top player of the Eastern Division, Bai Zi. Trouble, the speed is so fast. Bai Zi knew that Qin Xinlian had caught up. Being sandwiched on both sides, the opponent seemed to be desperate. But they didn't want to die, and Bai Zi still wanted to save the creatures to deal with the next lower level competition. Bai Zi, you can't escape, you will definitely be defeated by me today. The only one who can defeat you is me. Qin Xinlian chased after him, and the army swarmed in. In an instant, as the wings of the fire phoenix waved, fire rain fell from the clouds. The creatures that had no time to dodge were hit and soon burned to ashes by the high temperature. Are you crazy? Bai Zi couldn't help complaining. This thing didn't care about the points it saved, and it was determined to get rid of itself at the cost of its life. But he changed his mind and said, "Don't you always want to defeat me? But now, Yan Yan on the opposite side also wants to kill me. How about you fight first, whoever wins will fight me." Hearing this, Qin Xinlian, who was chasing him on the opposite side, chuckled. "I'm not stupid, you don't have to use such a low-level method to trap me. Based on the current situation, the person who defeats you in the end must be me." Bai Zi sighed, it was really useless. Then, he felt the location of the other creatures and confirmed that they were quite far away from here, so they should not be able to support. Moreover, it seemed that there were pursuers behind them, and they might be ambushed again if they turned around rashly. There was no other way. Bai Zi took out the purple potion. Originally, this was to be used at the last moment. Now it seems that we can only rely on it to break through the siege, Bai Zi said helplessly. So, he raised the medicine bottle in his hand. System. But before he finished speaking, he heard a dragon roar from afar. What? The next second, Bai Zi turned his head. The silver-white figure was as fast as lightning, and chains fell under the clouds. The creatures of low realms in the hands of Yan Yan and Qin Xinlian were trapped for 2 seconds by an invisible force. When they broke free from control, the purple thunder dragon was suddenly attacked. The silver-white ray passed through the chest and flipped it back from Doughty. What's going on? Who did it? Yan Yan shouted angrily. His eyes turned sharply and looked at the distant sky. There was a white figure, carrying the sun and moon wheel on his back, and a huge magic circle hanging behind him. The one who rescued just now was the Dragon of Order. The dragon god representing order? How could he be here? Could it be? Yan Yan seemed to understand something and looked forward. Sure enough, behind Qin Xinlian, a large group of dragon knights passed by. Under the sky, shrouded in darkness, Qin Xinlian looked up at the sky and couldn't help but widen his eyes. Ching Cheng. At this time, the fireball spewed by the phoenix solidified in mid-air. Transparent energy gathered and crushed it. Finally found you. If I had come a little later, you would probably have been besieged and killed by them. In the team voice, Tang Ching Cheng contacted Bai Zi. The latter was stunned when he saw this scene, and then took back the purple potion in his hand. Finally you're here. If you were slower, I would have been wiped out, Bai Zi responded. Of course, it's impossible to be wiped out, but the loss will be huge. Ching Cheng. Don't get in my way. This is a competition between him and me, it has nothing to do with you. But Qin Xinlian couldn't help but roar. Hearing her righteous voice, Tang Ching Cheng just shook her head. This is not a single-player competition, but a team competition. You have to chase Bai Zi for that useless agreement. Why don't you look at your own province's points? Qin Xinlian gritted her teeth, obviously a little dissatisfied. How could she not know her own score, but there was only one chance to avenge the previous shame. In the next round of the competition, Bai Zi might not be drawn. So here, Bai Zi must lose. Go. Qin Xinlian suddenly waved her hand violently, and the phoenix below flew into the sky as if it had received an order. Since you won't move, I'll defeat you too this time. The phoenix spread its wings in the clouds, and fireballs fell from the sky. Afterwards, a raging fire ignited around her, and the temperature was infinitely close to that of the sun. Under the scorching sun, the entire first layer of the Hell planet was almost illuminated. The remaining ghosts raised their heads and saw such a dazzling scene, and were instantly burned to ashes by the light. Even the densest fog on the first layer of the Hell planet was burned away. The phoenix spread its wings, as fierce as the sun, and shocked all directions. Afterwards, the fire phoenix turned around without thinking and rushed towards the Bai Zi camp like crazy. Those who didn't know would think that the missile had fallen, and they seemed to perish together. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 314. Too ruthless, Yangda's Qin Xinlian is simply too ruthless. In order to deal with Bai Zi, she really spared no expense, and actually used her ultimate move so early. I feel scared for Bai Zi, he actually got into trouble with such a madman, this is the rhythm of dying with him. However, after Qin Xinlian's attack, I am afraid that her future games will be much more difficult. After all, not only did she expose her strongest creature, but she also used her ultimate move. Others must be prepared. In the live broadcast room, the audience has already discussed this. From their perspective, Bai Zi will be seriously injured if he doesn't die after this attack. Being entangled by the ace of the province, the opponent seems to be willing to die and wants to trade with him one for one. In this case, no matter how strong Bai Zi is, he must leave something behind, right? Who knew that at this moment, when the phoenix was falling with the light of the sun? On her way to the end, a golden light was gradually getting bigger. Then, the light bloomed and turned into a figure, and the dragon roar broke the sky. The expanding light emitted a wave of air, which directly resisted the impact of the phoenix. With a violent explosion, both parties were bounced several miles away. How is this possible? What stopped this? Qin Xinlian couldn't believe it. Her eyes turned quickly, and even Yan Yan, who was dragged by the Dragon of Order, noticed something was wrong. They looked up together, and the golden light had completely appeared. It was a dragon, a golden dragon emperor. But unlike other dragons, it had a slender body and was a standard oriental dragon shape. However, it had a pair of wings behind it, which looked like a western dragon. How could there be such a creature? Yan Yan opened his mouth wide. He had cultivated the purple thunder dragon and put it into the dragon seed. But after so many years, he had never seen a dragon seed in this form. On the other hand, Bai Zi recognized what it was at a glance. The guy in front of him was the Yinglong, who was named the same as Kunpeng. According to legend, it is the only giant dragon with wings among the eastern dragons. It is Yinglong. This can't be. That's right, Tang Ching Cheng said first. Evolved from the Golden Dragon King. When you were in the creation building, I was not idle either. I spent a lot of effort to cultivate it. I just wanted to save it until the end, but Sulan province must win, and your creatures cannot be damaged. So, even if the third stage of the game will become difficult, I have to do everything I can to protect you. After Tang Ching-cheng said this, he even sent down an oracle. At the end of the sky on the other side, golden light flickered, colliding with the light of the sun here, forming a different visual impact. That's right, Tang Ching-cheng has no reservations. She summoned all the golden dragons, and the army came in person. In the live broadcast room, the barrage kept rolling. This is the former ace of Sulan province, Tang Ching-cheng, right? She actually has a trick up her sleeve. What kind of dragon is this? It has a slender body and wings, and it looks neither east nor west. However, this dragon is at a very high level. Tang Ching-cheng alone has 2 high-level creatures under her command. As expected of the ace of the 3rd highest university in the country, she is so strong. But I didn't expect that she would lose to Bai Zi even though she is so strong. Then what level should Bai Zi be at? Didn't he use his full strength all the time? The audience discussed privately, and when they saw Tang Ching-cheng's thousands of golden dragons landing, there was another uproar. I thought Bai Zi was the strongest among all the generals in the whole territory. I never imagined that all the golden dragons in Tang Ching-cheng's hands were generals, and their strength was not much less than Bai Zi. Sulan province is going to rise, right? A crouching dragon and a phoenix chick appeared all of a sudden. This is so interesting. All the people present are the top of each province. We don't have to wait until the 3rd stage to see them fighting, which is really a big win. Amid the discussion, Tang Ching-cheng's fighting force has been fully assembled. The Golden Dragon King was cultivated before, just to advance against the mythical creature Yinglong. Only the hybrid of the East and the West can produce this mythical beast. You let your creatures go quickly, I'll help you here. Okay, Bai Zi nodded. Immediately, he issued an order to the creatures below. Doughty, who received the retreat order, led the way and evacuated quickly. Seeing this, Zixiao Thunder Dragon was about to step forward to stop it, but was tied up by the order shackles of the Order Dragon. It was a familiar scene again, Dragon God versus Dragon God, Ace versus Ace. Damn it, I actually waited for the reinforcements. Yan Yan gritted his teeth. On the other side, Qin Xinlian also spoke up quickly. You want to run? Impossible. Stop his creatures, don't let them go. The fire phoenix that was shot down just now recovered, shook its head and took off again. She was like a rocket, and the feathers all over her body were ignited with brilliant flames. Unfortunately, before she could sprint a few steps, she was blocked by the dragon energy on Yinglong's body. Next, a ray of light engulfed the phoenix and fell into the 8th nirvana. Watching Bai Zi's creatures leave from afar, Qin Xinlian gritted her silver teeth, but could do nothing. Ching Cheng, since you insist on stopping me here, don't blame me for being ruthless. Nirvana is almost at the top, you will be completely defeated by me. Seeing this, Tang Ching-cheng remained unmoved. Until Bai Zi's creatures left, the war here was completely started. 1-on-2, Tang Ching-cheng could be said to have tried his best. Gotta hurry up. Do you have any news about the entrance to the 2nd floor? Bai Zi asked both sides at the same time, but the answers he received still contained no clues. The only thing to blame is that the Hell planet is too big. Moreover, I haven't said what the entrance thing looks like yet, so it's very likely that I'll miss it. No, Xiaobai, I'm in trouble here. What? Just after evacuating, Bai Zi heard Xia Yunyu's voice. What's wrong, what trouble are you in? Bai Zi was a little surprised. After such a long time, the first layer of creatures should have been cleared away. With Xia Yunyu's abilities, shouldn't she be in trouble? No, it's not a native creature. It was the guy from the imperial capital named Muhan who stopped me. Muhan, Bai Zi remembered. It was the son of the ice god, the leader of the group. I met him in the forest and he attacked me without saying a word. What kind of creature is he? On the other side, Xia Yunyu thought for a moment. Ice Kylin. A blue crystal-colored ice unicorn with sharp horns. Their sharp corners can emit rays and turn into ice cubes when touched. The forest here is almost frozen into a block of black ice. Listening to Xia Yunyu's words, Bai Ziyi couldn't help but remain silent. It seemed that the other party couldn't find her and accidentally bumped into Xia Yunyu. Where are you? Give me the coordinates and I'll be there right away. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the Beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 315. After that, Xia Yunyu told Bai Ziyi the coordinates of the transmission channel she had placed. However, the fog on the Hell planet was too heavy. Bai Ziyi had no choice but to tell which was which based on where his transmission channel was placed. He could only let Xia Yunyu tell him about the surrounding environment, and then he would go find her. All troops, listen to my order, follow the direction I said. As long as you find a similar place, report immediately. Bai Ziyi gave the order. Yes, my lord, the three leaders said in unison. Next, they searched for the entrance to the second floor while searching for Xia Yunyu's location. On the other side, in the strange forest where Xia Yunyu was, blue fog filled the sky, and trees, stones, and soil were all frozen into ice. There were also little ghosts wandering in the forest, either posing in strange postures and being frozen into ice sculptures, or they were frozen into ice, and their bodies were smashed and the slag fell all over the ground. It can be said that the entire strange forest has become an ice cellar, forming a sharp contrast with the entire Scarlet Hell. I really didn't expect that. I didn't find Bai Ziyi, but I found his teammates in this place. But it's okay, as long as you are here, Bai Ziyi will come sooner or later. Opposite Xia Yunyu, Mu Han held up his glasses and showed a sharp look. Below him, a row of crystal blue and long-horned ice unicorns advanced in a neat row. The freezing rays released from their horns can quickly freeze a place into ice. Under Xia Yunyu, the angels ran around in the forest, using trees and stones as cover to avoid being hit by the rays. There is no way. Forest Dragon, Xia Yunyu shouted. The next moment, a huge figure flew out from the distant hilltop. The son of the ice god actually fought with Bai Ziyi's team members. This little girl is miserable, although she was indeed very strong in the last round. But basically everyone in the Imperial Capital Circle understands that Mu Han, as the son of the ice god, is the strongest among the 6 sons of God. If she relies on herself alone, she will probably lose to Mu Han, and it is unlikely that she will have a chance to enter the 3rd stage. Accompanied by the discussion of the barrage, the forest dragon appeared and kept circling in the sky. This was a trick that Xia Yunyu had kept from the beginning, but she just didn't use it. But Mu Han smiled inadvertently when he saw this. A pure-blooded dragon species that commands the middle level. If it were placed among ordinary players, it would indeed be a very powerful existence, which would make people feel afraid. But who is Mu Han, one of the 6 sons of God in the imperial capital? Let alone a pure-blooded dragon species, even if it was the blood of the dragon god, he would not be afraid at all. What's more, Xia Yunyu's dragon is only a mid-level dragon species, which is not at the same level as these trump cards. Ha ha ha. If this is your strongest creature, then you are almost done for. But in order to attract Bai Ziyi, I still have to play with you for a while. Mu Han raised his fist and then opened it violently. Ice Kylan, let them see what a divine beast is. As soon as the voice fell, thousands of ice unicorns on the ground trembled all over. Then, a wave of majestic power gushed out. It actually caused them to advance collectively, and all of them broke through to the level of war generals. Is this the true strength of Mu Han, the strongest son of God in the imperial capital? The family creatures of the other contestants are at most high-level bloodlines. But Mu Han's ice unicorn, as a family, actually has a semi-god bloodline, worthy of being the strongest son of God in the imperial capital. Semi-god bloodline, as the name suggests, is stronger than high-level bloodline, and is not yet at the god level. Creatures that can have this bloodline are generally collateral bloodlines of a certain divine beast. For example, the Ice Kylan is the collateral bloodline of the mythical beast Kylan. It inherited some of the power of the Kylan, but unlike it, the Ice Kylan has mastered the power of ice. There are so many demigod bloodlines. Forest Dragon, it's too late, fly up quickly, Xiaoyunya called out hurriedly. After receiving the order, the forest dragon flapped its wings upward. Unfortunately, just as she said, it was too late. Muhan controlled the Ice Kylan, and at a command, the sharp horns on their heads flashed cold light. Then a series of rays were shot out, attacking the forest dragon that was constantly flying upward. The latter turned its body and tried its best to dodge. However, it was too big, and its wings were accidentally frozen in the end, and it began to fall. Roar! Before descending, the forest dragon did not forget to breathe. The corrosive liquid fell on the Kylan group, and instantly corroded hundreds of Kylans, turning them into a pool of thick water. What a trouble! You really pissed me off. Ice Kylan, freeze it into an ice sculpture. Looking at the one-sided battle in front of her, Xiaoyunya became anxious. At the same time, in the center of the imperial capital, all the top 10 principals in the country have gathered. Watching the competition between the players, everyone was talking and laughing. Only the principal of Zio Academy had a very ugly expression on his old face. Ha ha ha. Principal Zio, don't be too sad. Although your Zion made some mistakes and didn't beat my Xingguan. But look at your other students, they are still working hard for your province. The principal of the imperial capital narrowed his eyes, patted the other person's back, and smiled. But looking at the other person, he felt like his lungs were about to explode. Honestly speaking, with so many ace players from each province, they should have stayed until the end and fought desperately. Even in this second round, no one would leave the field. But the result was that Tan Zion from his own province left the field at the beginning of the game. You know, according to the rules of the game, once all the creatures die and leave the field, they will completely miss the third stage of the game. Look at the points of Zio province in the game, now it is perfectly at the bottom. There is no doubt that Zio province has withdrawn from the national competition in disguise. Haha, don't bother the principal of the capital to care. You should take a look at your precious student, lest she also makes a mistake and is killed in seconds. Principal Zio said with a gloomy face. Ha ha ha, that's right. But my precious student is now dominating the whole field. As he said, several people followed his gaze and looked at him. I saw that the third level of the Western Division was the Iron Tree Hell. Giant trees made of iron, with blades hanging on them. The death of a person is extremely horrible, as they are pierced through the back of the neck or mouth and hung high on a tree. In such a horrible scene, the other side is even more horrible. The forest black goat cubs, covered with mucus, surrounded the black goat mother. The ground trembled wherever they passed. The man-eating ghosts became their food, lifted up by the tentacles and swallowed into their mouths. The other contestants who came to this level did not dare to approach. They were afraid of provoking these monsters and causing their creatures to die without a complete body. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 316. How is it, my students are still very capable, right? The principal of the imperial capital still kept smiling. Looking again, the imperial capital is still in the lead. Ranked first in the provincial points list, with more than 200,000 points, more than double the second place. The 6 sons of God are all besieging Bai Zi, so most of these points are obtained by Bai Xingguan alone. Let's look at other rankings, the team rankings, the imperial capital Beijingguan is at the top. In the personal rankings, the imperial capital Beijingguan is still at the top, almost invincible. God bless, Tianyuan, don't be stupid. Sitting aside, the principal of Yanyuan province, the second in the country, has begun to pray. He hopes that Zhang Tianyuan will not take the initiative to provoke the goddess. Because the victory of the goddess this year is inevitable, as long as Zhang Tianyuan is obedient and kills monsters step by step to get points. Their Yanyuan province can keep the second place in the country, and it will be glorious in the future. Even Zhang Tianyuan has the opportunity to be the second in the country. There is no need to fight the goddess desperately for the first place. It's like Tanzian, who lost his wife and his army. In the end, he not only didn't win, but also lost the whole province. Humph, I don't want to say more. They are called goddesses, but what are these creatures? They are all deformed species, Principal Zio couldn't help but complain. The principal of the imperial capital did not shy away and answered directly, although they look like deformed species. But one thing is undeniable, they are all gods. At this time, the eyes of a group of people gathered here. That's right, the outer gods. Only by using the power of these gods can we welcome a brand new future. Similarly, those who master them will naturally be the leaders of the world in the future. The principal of the imperial capital paused, with great ambitions. So, my students will definitely surpass everything. Not only the players who are competing, but also us. At this point, the old man Guli next to him also laughed twice. I do hope that the world I created can create a god. With one sentence, the rest of the principals fell silent. What else can be done? The birth of the goddess is not something that happens overnight. It is a plan that the Federation set up many years ago. A true god raised by the Federation with the help of many forces. It is definitely not someone they are present who boasts that their students can defeat. By the way, Principal Tianzhou, your Bai seems to have encountered some trouble. Oh, or Principal Sulin too. Changing the subject, the principal of the imperial capital suddenly turned his head. Staring at the live broadcast screen, the two principals did not speak at first. But when asked about this matter, they suddenly smiled. Ha ha ha, I won't bother Principal Daidu. Our Bai is just temporarily in a passive state, and he will soon adjust back to the state. That's right, this is not King Chinch's limit. The two were not afraid at all, and their eyes became more and more fierce. It was as if they were the ones in the game now. Okay, but you two should pay attention. Arsene Wan has entered the third level of the Hell Planet and has occupied most of the points in the west. Bai Zi on your side has not moved, and the planetary resources are being plundered. Even if he starts hunting monsters later, I'm afraid his low score will not be as good as ours. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere on the scene instantly became a little colder. But the two principals just smiled and did not reply. In fact, they knew the plan of the imperial capital from the beginning. Cultivate the goddess and reach the top. Originally, this was nothing, and the two principals did not want to care too much, or take the initiative to provoke or something. However, Bai Zi got the honor badge of the Star Alliance and became the 11th star in the world. This made them have a great plan in their hearts. The protagonist of this plan is Bai Zi. In this regard, both of them have a trusting attitude and never doubt it. The perspective turned, and almost half an hour passed. At this moment, most of the creatures in Xia Yunyu's hands have been lost. Muhan was just playing cat and mouse, just torturing Xia Yunyu's creatures, and didn't kill them all at once. Forest Dragon, keep flying forward, don't stop, Xia Yunyu ordered with difficulty. The seriously injured forest dragon shook off the ice debris on his body and flapped his wings again. The ice Kirin behind him chased closely, and some of the rays were deliberately deflected to scare the other party. It's really boring. I didn't expect you to be so weak. I haven't used up 30% of my strength yet, and you are about to be wiped out. But you'd better pray that your captain will come quickly. I don't have much patience, Muhan kept mocking. However, he was too confident and thought he had completely controlled Xia Yunyu. So, he didn't care about his creatures and let them chase. Who knew that after a while, the forest dragon suddenly stopped running? Roar! Why didn't you run? Could it be? Boom! Before Muhan finished his ridicule, a strong wind suddenly blew up from the ground. The ice unicorns were frightened and looked around, and the strong wind made them lose their composure. What? Wind elves, do it? Suddenly, the ground that the ice unicorn stepped on was shattered, and a storm emerged from the depths of the ground. Without enough time to react, a large number of ice unicorns that entered the attack range were blown up. Equipped with cutting and penetrating wind blades, it will be cut into pieces in the air. Muhan opened his mouth wide, but he didn't expect that there was an ambush here. Forest Dragon, Xia Yunyu ordered immediately. Taking advantage of the chaos among the ice unicorns, the forest dragon quickly turned around and counterattacked. Even not far away, angels came one after another. Holy Winged Angel uses her racial skills, and in seraph form, she breaks through to the middle level of command. The two join together and continuously emit rays downwards. It turns out that this little girl still has some leftover hands. Those are probably wind elves? Really, this Muhan is the strongest son of God after all, but he can fall into such low-level traps. He is too arrogant, thinking he has a perfect grasp of the opponent. You know, this player is from the base team in Surin province. In the barrage, the evaluation of Muhan changed instantly. Seeing this scene, Muhan also became a little angry. Now it's live broadcast, under the eyes of countless viewers. As the strongest son of God in the imperial capital, how could he be so embarrassed? I originally wanted to wait until Bai Zi came. It's a pity that you don't know what's good for you, so don't blame me. Boom. What is it again? Just as Muhan was about to say harsh words, there was another thunderous sound in the distance. Looking over there, the stars in the sky twinkled, blooming with a splendor unique to the universe. But no, this is a hell planet. So those. They are all meteorites. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Creation of the world, binding God simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 317. Don't panic, just hit it. A loud voice accompanied the creature's arrival. Afterwards, a huge black fireball smashed into the forest. With a bang, a big pit appeared on the forest floor, and black flames ignited. The nearby frost melted and the trees were burned. And the ice unicorns that were hit had their ice crystals instantly burned into water stains. Muhan was about to organize a counterattack, but he saw that all the meteorites had made an emergency landing. In the entire forest, waves of explosions were set off, as if meteorites hit the earth. The ice unicorns were hit and fled in all directions, and a large number of compatriots were submerged in the storm. It was not until then that Muhan realized that Bai Zi had come. Haven't you been looking for me for a long time? I'm here now. Seeing that he was attacked by Bai Zi, Muhan was furious and became even more manic. You dare to sneak attack me? But since you are here, there is no need for me to hide. Let's go, Ice Blade. Muhan clenched his fists and roared. And with his voice, the devastated forest suddenly shook again. From deep underground, through the canyon that was hit and cracked, waves of cold air emerged. Then, without waiting for the many creatures on Bai Zi's side to react, a blue slash shot up into the sky, causing range damage, and a large number of meteorite insects were instantly cut in half. The Universe Insect King retreated urgently to avoid being hit. Slash. Bai-Zi raised his head quickly and faced the scarlet sun of the Hell planet. A long sword stood in the sky, following the cold air just now. It came from the cold pool in the abyss, and it was full of cold air. The sword energy that shot up into the sky just now was released by it. What the hell, a knife? No way, can this be considered a creature, isn't it just a weapon? The bullet screen scrolled quickly, and Mu-Han clenched his fists and showed an extremely arrogant smile. Open your eyes, the ice blade. After the voice fell, the blue knife in the sky began to shake violently. After that, a wide range of cold air spread, covering the forest, extending to valleys, hills, plains, and other places. The creators who were left in the same layer all looked up, looking at the blue particles falling from the sky, feeling a palpitation. At this moment, a deep blue eye suddenly opened at the handle of the knife. The powerful cold air was as unfathomable as the Nine Abyss, making all things tremble. This thing actually has eyes. Bai-Zi showed a look of horror, but he obviously didn't pay attention to the point. The audience in the live broadcast room had already noticed the problem. Half step to the peak of the leader. Mu-Han's creature actually has a half step to the peak of the leader. This is the Eastern Division. I have seen the strongest creature besides Bai-Zi so far. Who questioned our Son of God just now? This kind of strength is definitely the best in the country. In the competition venue, Mu-Han also showed an excited expression. Half step to the peak of the leader means that he is only half a step away from the high level to the peak. No, Bai-Zi, get out of the way. Xia Yunyu spoke immediately, but it was too late. After the ice blade opened its eyes, the long accumulated attack suddenly burst out. It was a blue slash, with a deep chill, as if to freeze the space. No need. It's just a sword fight, Death Scythe Jeton. Bai-Zi spread his hands, and a black mist rose behind him. Death Scythe Jeton crossed his two blades in the black mist, and a dazzling black lotus bloomed, with starlight shining, and light slashed out. The two offensives met and bombarded each other in the sky above the first layer of the Hell planet. This blow shook the earth, the sky collapsed, and the entire first layer of the Hell planet was shaking. Even the world wall could not bear the weight, and a barely noticeable crack appeared. Too shocking, is this a fight between aces? I have a feeling now, taking the first layer of the Hell planet as an example, even if the other members are not needed, the two of them can easily control it. But speaking of it, the strongest creature on the surface now should be Bai-Zi's peak leader, right? Is there anyone higher? Amid the discussion, the two attacks have already decided the winner. The powerful shockwave shook the extreme ice blade away and hit it hard against a mountain wall. The Death Scythe Jeton above the smoke screen waved his double sickles, showing a proud attitude. Obviously, it won this collision. Xiaobai, you are not injured, right? Xia Yunyu's creature rushed over. It's okay. His creatures can't hurt me. As for you, I arrived just in time. Seeing this, Xia Yunyu chuckled, very just in time. But if you were a little later, your lovely girlfriend would be dead. Hee hee. The two of them met and talked privately. On the other side, Mu-Han, who was defeated and seriously injured, had a very ferocious look in his eyes. How could he lose? He is known as the strongest son of God in the imperial capital. He should be the most legendary figure in recent times under the goddess. But now, he has been overshadowed by Bai-Zi. He refused to accept it. But at this moment, Mu-Han received a call from other sons of God. What's going on? He shouted angrily. He was very impatient. The voice on the other end was Hong Yan's. Mu-Han, stop yelling. If I guessed correctly, you should have lost. Mu-Han heard this, and veins on his forehead immediately popped up. I didn't lose. I'm now. Mu-Han, although I don't want to admit it, Bai Zi is indeed stronger than me. That's right, even if we join forces, we are still no match for his creature. The person who spoke next to Hong Yan was Zhu Wei. They fought against Bai Zi's meteorite army and were almost crushed. Thankfully, Bai Zi ordered only Hyperjeton to break through, and did not fight. Otherwise, they would most likely be completely annihilated. However, the trump card creatures in their hands have not been used. If they were used, they should be able to hold on for a while, or escape or something like that. Mu Han, don't think highly of yourself. We need to join forces. It is undeniable that I am not able to defeat that guy either. At this time, Ye Hui and Liao Liang also connected with Mu Han. Listening to them telling about their miserable situation in conquering Bai Zi, Mu Han was slightly surprised. Unexpectedly, other creatures in Bai Zi were so powerful. Not only were there many mythical beasts present, but there was also a well-known dragon god. Representing life and nature, it is even more noble than Yan Yan's purple thunder dragon. We are rushing to your side now. We lost, but the imperial capital cannot lose. To be honest, my original goal was to challenge the goddess, but now I can't even beat Bai Zi. So I decided not to challenge, and directly help the goddess, which is equivalent to helping our imperial capital. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Ye Feng. Chapter 318. Hold Bai Zi now and wait for us to come over. Hearing this, Mu Han chose to remain silent. At this time, Yan Yan also sent a message. He broke away from Tang Qingqing's entanglement and was rushing to his side. I am bringing my creatures here, don't let him run away. Okay, I understand. Then let's join forces and let him see the true power of the sons of God in the imperial capital. After a word, all the connections were hung up. This time, Mu Han's eyes changed when he looked at Bai Zi. He no longer looked down on him, but solemnly. It was as if the one in front of him was a powerful monster, and he was regarded as his opponent. It's not good, Bai Zi. Tang Qingcheng also sent a message to Bai Zi. What's wrong, are you okay? I'm fine here. With the two of them, I can still run away if I can't beat them. But Yan Yan, who broke free from my entanglement, went to your side, and so did Qin Xinlian. Bai Zi was shocked. How did he know his position? I guess the 6 sons of gods in the imperial capital have already been in contact, and they may have joined forces. You'd better leave quickly, so as not to be beaten up by them. After all, Tang Qingcheng, as the strongest in the former Sulan province, has also had some contact with the geniuses in the imperial capital. She knows very well what level of power the 6 sons of gods in the imperial capital have. Bai Zi may have no problem fighting them alone, but if he is beaten up by them, he will basically die, and it will be difficult to escape. Don't forget that none of the 6 of them has used the divine field yet. I understand, then I'll leave now. After the call ended, Bai Zi turned to look at Xia Yunyu beside him. The people on the opposite side are all coming to double team us, so it's better for us to leave first. Yes, Xia Yunyu nodded fiercely. Universe Insect King, open the way. Bai Zi gave an order to the bottom, and the Universe Insect King on the surface of the ground immediately vibrated its wings and flew up. It showed its sharp claws and swooped over the ground. A dazzling arc passed by, and the remaining ice unicorns were cut into pieces, and the scene was extremely bloody. You can't come and go as you please here. Extreme Cold Blade. After receiving Mu Han's call, the Extreme Cold Blade, which was originally driven into the mountain, immediately became energetic. It sent out a slash from a distance, and built an ice wall from the road that the army had to retreat through, blocking their way. However, Bai Zi was not in a hurry. Death Scythe Jeton, cut it open. Soon, the 2-blade arc light slash was shot out, and a crack was rushed out from the middle of the ice wall. The meteor army drove straight in, passed through the ice wall and left. From behind the Universe Insect Emperor Palace, it, a high-level general, could stop the ice unicorn's steps alone. Xia Yunyu also followed the footsteps, and the two quickly evacuated. However, Mu Han's army was already chasing them closely, and there was no intention to let them go. At the same time, on the other side, on the second floor of the Hell Planet, Zhao Qi and his members felt the vibration from above. He showed a satisfied smile, and was extremely happy. Let's fight. The more intense the fight between those ace players, the more advantageous it will be for him. By the time they decide the winner, I am afraid that I have explored to the 7th or 8th floor, or even lower. They still need to find the entrance, and it is impossible to catch up with me, let alone snatch points from me. Let's go to the 3rd floor of the Hell Planet, the Iron Tree Hell. Zhao Qi gave an order. All his holy light guards entered the transmission channel and stepped out of the 3rd floor. Ding, the Eye of God has completed the detection. Name of the creature, Extreme Cold Blade. Creature level, High Level Commander. Creature introduction, non-entity creature, no weaknesses. This thing is not made of entities. Bai Ziyi was stunned. But he seemed to have discovered something again. Because just now, its creature introduction changed again, revealing the opponent's weakness. Could this thing be able to change from real to fake? With doubts, Bai Ziyi and Xia Yunyu's creatures ran in front, while Mu Han's creatures chased after them. Bai Ziyi knew that this was not a solution. The Son of God in the imperial capital was completely crazy, desperately chasing after him, not allowing him to spawn monsters at all. The game had already started for several hours, but Bai Ziyi was still on the 1st floor, not even finding the entrance to the 2nd floor. Dowdy, Aurora, how are you guys doing? My lord, there is no discovery, the two leaders reported. What about the opponents? Have you been found or chased by anyone? After a 2-second pause, the two leaders answered together, no. Those wind god pterosaurs are very fast, but they dare not chase after us after we repelled them. We are also far away from them. Yeah, Bai Ziyi nodded gently. If that's the case, then things will be easy. Yunyu, let your creatures run to the other side, let's separate. Xia Yunyu showed a puzzled expression and looked at Bai Ziyi beside her. What will you do then? If I leave, he will definitely chase you first. If I stay, I can help you share some of the burden, and I can be a meat shield. Bai Ziyi just shook his head, no need, I just want them all to chase me. Why? I'm going to log off. This sentence immediately confused Xia Yunyu. This is not a solution. The other side is chasing us all the time. I can see that they don't care about their points anymore. They just want to trade with me. Even if we defeat them all, there is still Bai Zingguan in the next competition area. I can't fight them with the remaining strength. Xia Yunyu nodded slightly. It was indeed true. Speaking of which, it was because the overall strength of Sulan province was too weak. The imperial capital not only has the goddess, the 6 sons of God, but also the sons of God who inherited the godhood. If they don't care about their lives and want to kill Bai Ziyi, then Bai Ziyi can't stop it no matter how strong he is. Besides, there seems to be a crazy Yang Daqin's Inlian. Okay, then I'll go to the side now. After that, Xia Yunyu ordered her creatures to leave Bai Ziyi's team. Mu Han, who was chasing from a distance, narrowed his eyes slightly when he saw this scene. But after a round of fighting with the two, he now has only 1,000 creatures left, which is not enough to chase the two at the same time. Anyway, as long as Bai Ziyi is defeated, Sulan province will fall apart. So, he simply ignored Xia Yunyu and continued to follow Bai Ziyi. That's it? It's up to you now. As he spoke, Bai-Ze had already taken out a prop card from the system backpack. Hypogeton, take the meteor bugs to the top of that mountain. After receiving the order, Hypogeton waved his arm, and the army of meteor bugs began to accelerate. At this time, the other 5 sons of God, as well as Qin Xinlian, all saw Bai-Ze's meteor army. They were climbing high mountains, so it was very clear. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 319. Found them, they are just ahead. They really don't know how to live or die, running to the top of the mountain, aren't they waiting for us to siege them? That place is easy to attack but difficult to defend, he has already reached a desperate situation, block his retreat. Halfway up the mountain, the meteor army is still rushing to the top of the mountain. Looking down, there are storms, auroras, lava, earthquakes, lightning, ice, and fire. And many other elements are catching up, making the hell layer shake. The 6 sons of the emperor, including Qin Xinlian, all caught up. Beside them, there are also those desperate emperor players. There are nearly 100,000 people from all major creatures and races. Densely packed, they surrounded the bottom of the mountain, and all they could see were twisting monsters. And the first to catch up were undoubtedly Muhan's Ice Unicorn army. It's almost there, Bai-Ze was not panicked at all. But at this time, the live broadcast room had exploded. The 6 sons of gods in the imperial capital gathered, with more than 100,000 extraordinary creatures. This Bai-Ze is desperate. Instead of running to the plains and other open places, he actually went to the top of the mountain. If he is trapped on the top of the mountain, there will be no way out at such a high distance, he may not be able to fly out. No way, the most dazzling player in the Eastern Division will not leave the stage so soon. Under the criticism of thousands of people, the outsiders, including the principals of various schools, could not help but narrow their eyes. Teacher Zhou and Teacher Su, who were watching the game, all stared at the live broadcast screen. Under the focused eyes of everyone, Hyperjeton and his party finally reached the top. At the bottom, the large pursuit force was close to the halfway point of the mountain. Bai-Ze, accept your fate, you have no way to escape, Muhan, who was chasing closely behind, said. Haha, escape. Do you think I will escape? Hearing this, Muhan frowned and immediately showed a look of horror. What? You don't plan to escape? Could it be? Because of his carelessness, Xia Yunyu had calculated before, and now he is very defensive. Hearing Bai-Ze's words, he immediately ordered the creatures to stop. Could it be that there is an ambush here? Wait. Don't come up yet, there may be an ambush here, Muhan shouted to the Son of God behind him. Just at this moment, everyone's footsteps all stopped. Looking at each other, their eyes were confused. They also knew Bai-Ze a little bit. This guy likes to set up ambushes. But looking at Bai-Ze, he showed an evil smile. Haha, you guessed it right, I just want to escape. B-level prop card activated, transparent barrier. As he said, Bai-Ze threw a card from his hand. The card floated in the air, and after landing, a circular transparent barrier unfolded, wrapping Bai-Ze's creatures. It was not until this moment that Muhan reacted. He was fooled. You bastard! Your brain is not good, this is not my fault. All creatures listen to the order, Prepare to go offline. System, start to go offline. Ding, received the player's signal, judging that the creature has not completely left the battle. Ding, entering the 30-second countdown, all members will evacuate immediately if they are completely out of the battle. Bursts of cold mechanical sounds echoed in Baizi's ears. At the same time, the sons of the gods finally realized that something was wrong. Not good. He is preparing to go offline. Stop him quickly, don't let him go offline. Several roars came, and the army that had stopped moving rushed to the top of the mountain like crazy. Muhan also roared loudly and hurriedly ordered the creatures to attack. Extreme Cold Blade, interrupt his offline. Boom. A majestic cold air spread out, and the extreme cold blade soared into the air. In an instant, several ice blades chopped out and flew towards Baizi's meteorite army. Unfortunately, Baizi had already opened the transparent barrier first. The sword energy touched the barrier and bounced back, unable to cause damage inside. Ding, teleportation has been activated, waiting for the end of the time to leave the battle. Another system sound rang in everyone's ears. Quick! Faster! Purple Thunder Dragon! Fire Rain Chain, interrupt him! The shouts continued, and various skills such as robbery and fire rain fell from the sky. But at this time, a column of light had risen around the meteorite army, and they were wrapped in the light column and were disappearing little by little. The rest of the creatures in various places, the Treeman army, and the 3 tribes of Dowdy were all the same. This is the rule for going offline. If you want to go offline, all creatures must go offline together. Ding, countdown 10 seconds. With the countdown, the attacks have all fallen. A trace of fierce lines appeared on the transparent barrier, and it was about to break apart. It's your turn, Aurora Centaur, Liao Liang roared. Suddenly, a flash of light passed through the team. A creature with a horse's lower body and a human's upper body appeared. His chest was covered with golden patterns, and his red-gold eyes burst into shining light. Use your speed to smash it for me. The Aurora Centaur quickened its pace and surpassed the main force in an instant. He raised his hands out of thin air, in a bow-drawing posture, and a longbow of light really appeared. He pulled it up again, and an arrow of light appeared from the bow. Ding, countdown remaining 5 seconds. Whoosh! The arrow of light flew out, so fast that it was difficult to see with the naked eye. It went straight to Hypergeton, breaking the air and sounding a series of sonic booms. Finally, after touching the barrier collapsed into thousands of pieces under the heavy load. The light arrow has not stopped yet, and it is accelerating. Ding, countdown is 1 second left. Ding, it is detected that all the creatures of Baizi are out of combat, and can be executed offline. The sound fell, accompanied by a loud bang, and the remaining meteor army was teleported away. The same happened to the other places, the tree army, and the 3 tribes of Dowdy. And the light arrow was about to touch Hepatch. But it finally flew out of the sky and hit the world wall, causing a brilliant explosion. Outside the field, the voices were loud and the noise was boiling. It is hard to describe Baizi's perfect ending this time. Baizi actually successfully went offline. 6 great sons of God, trump cards from various provinces, 100,000 encirclements, and he can still escape in this situation. In a sense, he defeated everyone present. Looking at the scene in front of him, Liao Liang clenched his fist unwillingly. Damn it! I was still a step too slow and let him run away. After Baizi left, more than 100,000 troops had all arrived at the top of the mountain. But there was no one here, they looked at each other, and the scene was very embarrassing for a while. This guy actually has a trick up his sleeve. It's obviously just a little bit short, as long as he is trapped here, he will basically die. This guy has so many tricks, I wonder how many prop cards he has in his hand. It seems that we can't hide anymore. Although it's the second round, we have to hurry up and use the prop cards. But what should we do now? He's gone, do we have to stay here and wait for him to come back online? Creation of the World, Binding God Simulator at the beginning. Author, Yefeng Feng. Chapter 320. He. Principle of the Imperial Capital, I told you not to worry about it. Look, isn't my student out safe and sound now? Faced with a siege of 100,000, he is still invincible. What else is there to say? Principal Tianzhou was quite happy in the Imperial Capital Center Stadium. The principals of other schools also couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. The Sulan province of this generation is really going to rise, and such a terrible monster has emerged. Those are the 6 people that the Imperial Capital is most proud of. They gathered all their fighting power and collectively attacked Bai Ziyi, but they failed to annihilate him. It can be seen how strong the opponent's own strength is. Well, look how proud you are. At present, Bai Ziyi has successfully logged off, but he will always be online. The competition is said to last for 10 days, but looking at the speed of the Eastern Division, I'm afraid that the Hell Planet will be pierced in 5 days at most. Let's not talk about whether he will be guarded by the corpse at that time, and he will have no chance to grab points again. The words of the principal of the Imperial Capital revealed a sense of yin and yang. However, this is indeed the biggest problem. Let's not talk about the bottom of the points of Sulan province, and the points of Bai Ziyi's team are also at the bottom. There are only so many people who qualify, if you don't hurry up. It is very likely that Bai Ziyi will not be annihilated, but will be permanently left in the second stage because of insufficient points. Don't talk too early, the game has only started for a few hours now. There is still a lot of time behind, miracles will always happen, Principal Sulan rushed to say. The other party just smiled when he heard it. Okay, then we will wait for the miracle to happen. Everyone's eyes returned to the live broadcast screen again. At the same time, back to Bai Ziyi, he has completely withdrawn from the Hell Planet. All creatures stay in a special space, which is transparent all around. Looking down, you can still see the steaming Hell Planet. Now, Bai Ziyi can finally breathe a sigh of relief. All members retreated successfully, avoiding the tragic situation of being surrounded. System, check the number of creatures left. Bai Ziyi clicked on the system and looked at the recent losses. He suddenly found that after several hours of chasing, his 20,000 troops were less than 15,000. The meteorite bugs and tree people each lost nearly 2,000, and the other 3 tribes also suffered considerable losses. It's troublesome. Speaking of the system, how many personal points do I have now? And there are team points. Ding, the host's personal points are less than 100 now, and the team's total points are more than 1,000. As expected, after running all the way, the monsters were harvested. Except for fighting some scattered monsters, Bai Ziyi basically didn't officially brush the little ghost. Okay, I understand. After that, Bai Ziyi turned his view to the 5 tribes below. Now that the retreat is successful, there will be no enemies here. You rest well here and wait for my next call. I will obey my lord's will, the 5 tribes kowtowed. After that, Bai Ziyi withdrew from the special space. Going offline is also a last resort, otherwise he will be exhausted to death by those lunatics sooner or later. But after going offline, Bai Ziyi can't help but face many problems. The first is the most direct corpse guarding. Hyperjeton's offline location is on the top of the mountain. What if that group of people simply don't want the results and keep guarding there? When they go online again, there will still be a bloody battle. After all, there is no way. If you want to go offline, you can only go offline together, and if you go online, you can go online together. There is no way to let the tree people or the 3 tribes go online first, and then go to the meteor bugs for support. In addition, You can't go offline for too long. Otherwise, when the hell planet is emptied, you will have no source of points. Hunting a creator with points is definitely more difficult than killing monsters. Not to mention, there are those crazy people interfering. By the way, save points by ZE remembered. After returning to the real world, he turned on the live broadcast on his mobile phone. Flipping the big screen, Bai Zi's eyes became more serious. Not for any reason, just because Sulan province is now the last third from the bottom. The total score is not even 50,000. And look at the points of the top few above. Tianjing province ranks third, 150,000 points. Yanyunzheng ranks second, 200,000 points. The imperial capital ranks first, but the points have reached an astonishing 500,000. Damn, it is directly 10 times the points of Sulan province. Of course, Yang province is lower than Sulan province, second from the bottom. How can the score of the imperial capital be so much higher? Isn't the Son of God in the imperial capital? Bai Zi remembered that the sons of God have been chasing him and he really has no points. But there is another person in the Western Division, the best player of the year, Bai Xingguan. Thinking of this, Bai Zi quickly opened the live broadcast room, which had channels from all provinces. Switching to the imperial capital Bai Xingguan, the first layer of the hell planet was actually corroded. Yes, he was not mistaken, the black mucus swallowed up the ground, mountains, and even the forest magma of the first layer. It was dark, desolate, withered, and chaotic. Compared with the purgatory-like scene of the hell planet, this one made people's backs cold. Moreover, Bai Zi also observed that this mucus was constantly infiltrating. In the Western Division, even the second layer of the hell planet began to suffer. Boom boom boom. The fourth layer of hell, the hell of the mirror of evil. Bai Zi saw the group of dark monsters. What are these? Black goat cubs of the forest. And the mother of the black goat of the forest. Bai Zi has a lot of experience. These guys are all at the level of outer gods. But this live broadcast screen is aimed at Bai Xingguan. Bai Zi finds it hard to believe that the opponent's creatures are actually this kind of outer god, even though they do not have the realm of outer gods. Continue to watch the game. The fourth level of the evil mirror hell is a more special level. The creatures here have a mirror that can illuminate the contestants' creatures and summon different levels of ghosts according to their crimes. Some can even summon demons from lower levels. But Bai Zi clearly saw that the mirror surprisingly broke after illuminating the outer god. This proves that even hell has no right to judge the opponent's sins. Just a group of forest black goat cubs have inherited such a powerful fighting force. If there are other outer gods, no wonder the title of goddess has not been shaken for so long. Based on this thing, Bai Zi also thought of some more terrifying creatures. He can only pray that the other party has not been cultivated yet. Otherwise, even with the current strength of the third level peak, Bai Zi may not be sure to defeat her. Switch the channel, Eastern Division. Bai Zi voice controls the TV. At this time, the Eastern Division has also reached the third level. The person at the bottom is undoubtedly Zhao Qi. Watching his operation, a large number of monsters were killed. There is not much time left for Bai Zi. He should think carefully about how to break through the current predicament.